The moment I stepped into that hotel ballroom, something felt wrong. It wasn't the music, the crowd, or the forced smiles of corporate networking. It was her, Claire, my wife of 8 years, the woman I had trusted with every fragile part of myself, standing just a few feet away with her lips pressed to another man's. This wasn't a brief, accidental kiss you might misinterpret in a dimly lit room. It was deliberate, intimate. Her hand rested on his chest, as if it belonged there, and in that instant, something inside me shattered quietly, like glass under pressure. I didn't storm over. I didn't shout. I didn't create a scene like movies suggest. I walked steadily, each step measured, each breath tighter than the last, until I was close enough in my words not to compete with the chatter around us. "You just ended our marriage," I said flatly, each word slicing through the space between us. Claire froze. Her lips parted, her face draining of color as if the truth I had spoken had sucked the warmth from her. The man, tall and sharply dressed, a figure I vaguely recognized from photos she had shown me, stepped back, panic written all over him. He didn't try to explain. He simply melted into the crowd, a guilty shadow. But Claire, she turned to me wide-eyed and whispered 2 words I will never forget. "You're wrong." Those words rattled me more than the kiss ever could. The drive home was quiet except for the car's soft engine hum. My hands gripped the wheel like letting go would make me fall apart. Claire sat beside me, staring out the window like a stranger. Finally, I broke the silence. "Who is he?" She hesitated, fingers twisting her clutch strap. "It's not what you think, Daniel." I almost laughed at the cliché. Not what I think. I saw her mouth on his. I saw the same look in her eyes she used to reserve for me. "Then explain," I said, voice steady but chest burning, because from where I stood, my wife was kissing another man at a company gala. "Explain how that isn't betrayal." She exhaled, a trembling, rehearsed sigh. "It was a mistake." He leaned in. "I didn't." "Claire," I interrupted. I saw your hand on his chest. Her silence spoke louder than any confession ever could. The following days blurred into half-truths and avoidance. Claire insisted it had just happened, a moment of weakness, an unthinking lapse. Yet she refused to cut contact with him. His name was Ryan, her team leader, the man she had been traveling with for months on client trips. Looking back, the signs had been there all along. Late-night emails, extra effort to look flawless before work dinners, laughter at texts she wouldn't show me. I wanted to believe her. I clung to the hope that the kiss was a single, drunken mistake. But my gut whispered the truth I didn't want to face. This wasn't new. That kiss was a revelation, not the beginning. One evening, I sat in our living room with her phone on the coffee table. She had left it charging while showering. My hand hovered over it, conscience warring with desperation. You shouldn't snoop. But she had already broken my trust. If there's nothing there, you'll find nothing. I opened it. The messages were there. Hundreds, hidden in an innocent-seeming work chat, unmistakable in tone. "Miss you already. Last night was incredible. Can't wait for our next trip." Photos, selfies, inside jokes I'd never been part of. My stomach turned. By the time she stepped out of the shower in her robe, I was sitting like a ghost, phone in hand. "Daniel," she whispered, pale. "You went through my phone," she said, voice shaky. "I went through the life I thought I knew," I replied quietly. "And I found the truth. That night, we didn't even talk. We didn't sleep in the same bed. I lay awake, replaying 8 years of marriage in my mind. Our vows, the house, the plans, was it all a lie? Or had you just changed?" The next morning, I packed a bag and left, not in anger, but to put distance between myself and the hurt before it became something uglier. She texted constantly, apologies, explanations, promises. "I love you, Daniel. It didn't mean anything. You're my husband. He's no one." But betrayal isn't about who the other person is. It's the act itself that poisons everything. A week later, she appeared at my temporary apartment. No makeup, no polished corporate facade. Just Claire, eyes red from crying. "Please, can we talk?" she asked. I let her in. We sat across the kitchen table, a chasm between us wider than the surface itself. "Why am?" I asked. eyes searching hers. I don't know, she whispered. We traveled so much together. He listened. He made me feel seen. That's not what I mean. I interrupted. You're a good husband, Daniel. I got lost. I stared at her, trying to find the woman I had fallen in love with. Lost isn't forgetting an anniversary. Lost isn't building an affair behind your husband's back. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. And then I realized she wasn't crying because she had lost me. She was crying because she'd been caught. The divorce didn't happen overnight. I didn't storm to a lawyer the next day. Part of me, naive, maybe, hoped she'd fight for us. But her version of fighting was hollow. Flowers, texts, I miss you, but never the hard work of honesty, cutting him off, owning what she had done. I called Ryan once from a number he didn't recognize. You ruined my marriage, I said. He sighed, annoyed. Look, man, it wasn't serious. She's the one. I hung up, not serious, as if that made it better. As if reducing my wife to a fling softened the betrayal. Months passed. Papers were signed. Friends chose sides. Her family begged me to forgive her and remember the good years. But forgiveness isn't a switch you flip because people feel uncomfortable. 6 months later, I ran into her at a coffee shop. She looked thinner, tired, diminished in some indefinable way. Daniel, she said softly, I just wanted you to know I ended things with him. It's over. Good for you, I said. A flicker of hope crossed her face. Do you think we could ever? No, I said gently, because the night I caught you, I didn't just lose a wife. I lost a version of you that would never put me in that position. Her eyes filled again, but she said nothing, just nodded and whispered, I'm sorry, before walking away. It's been a year. The pain is quieter now, like a scar you forget until the weather changes. I've started dating again slowly. I don't check phones. I don't demand explanations for late nights. But I carry that night in the ballroom with me. The kiss, the crowd, the music swelling like a cruel soundtrack. I remember the words I said, You just ended our marriage. And her reply, You're wrong. She wasn't wrong because the marriage survived. She was wrong because she believed betrayal could be undone with denial. It cannot. Once someone shows you what they're capable of behind your back, you can never see them the same way again.